Dame, the other night you'd kind of talked about how Andre's just instant energy. Just what'd you think of him in the starting lineup tonight?
I thought he had a great game. I think every good team has somebody that you could point to as like a disruptor, energy player that just brings that to a team. And I think it was obvious with him out there. His pressure on the ball, the deflections, chasing down loose balls. Just a lot of those hustle plays, those energy plays that can bring energy to a team, but also those moments where it looked like the other team is about to, have something happen for him, and then his energy and his effort and his motor comes into play for us. Like that fast break where Brook is chasing down Patty Mills. He make him, throw up a high floating layup in transition, and then another guy is following it up, and Drake come behind and block it. So that's just the kind of player he is, and I think they felt his presence out there tonight.
Doc had kind of mentioned how he was hoping you and Giannis would get to a spot where he didn't have to make calls anymore. You guys would just flow into actions. He specifically mentioned that flipped screen Giannis had kind of, I think, in the fourth quarter. Just obviously, you guys have both put up big numbers this year, but from a chemistry standpoint, how much more natural is it kind of feeling for you two this year?
I think it's a lot more natural. I mean, as far as I'm seeing it and feeling it, I think last year everybody was just like, oh, they got to play two-man. You got to do this. And then in practice, it was just so scripted all the time, like so much pressure on like what we were supposed to do. And like I said before, just time and reps and, us just getting to know each other now, we just having a lot of communication just amongst the two of us, without Doc or without anybody else, and just talking about what I want him to do, like what I see. And then he'll tell me like what he's trying to do and what he sees. And I just think it's coming together, and it'll continue to come together and get better and better. And I think within that, we're able to make calls to get into those situations, where Doc is not having to, call out plays and stuff like that.
I know you guys were confident despite the losing streak, but how much did you need just this victory just to get some positive momentum going?
I think we needed it bad, desperately, just because, this is a team that came in with the same record as us, I think, a struggling team, a much younger team than us. They coming on our home floor, so, it was important for us to not only get off of that 6-game losing streak and, feel something good, winning a game, but going into this next stretch of games, I think it was important for us to get back in the win column. And not just win a game, but do a lot of things that we can have some carryover with. If we do a lot of the things that we did tonight against any team, with the pace we did it and the energy that we did it with, I think we'll have success. So I think how we was able to get this win and feel what it feels like when we do those things, that's something that we can kind of keep building on going forward against every team.
I imagine you probably know as well as anyone what makes a great shooter. Just from your perspective, what is it that makes AJ as effective as he is from beyond the arc? I think 11 of 15 now, last 2 games.
I think, one, you just got to have the ability to shoot. Like, to be a great shooter, you got to have the ability to shoot. But in the NBA, I think we play so many games, we shoot the ball so much that you're going to go through tough stretches where you don't shoot the ball well. You're going to have stretches where you shoot the ball great and you think you're going to make every shot. But I think the great shooters, they just stay true to what makes them a great shooter, and that's getting reps, that's doing it game speed, that's being able to accept that you're going to miss shots and it's just not going to fall sometime, and you got to still raise up every time like everyone is going in. And I think for somebody like AJ, when I come in and I do my pre-practice stuff and, I'm getting ready to get out on the court, I know I can count on seeing him on that far basket going through his rip-through threes and catch and shoot, quick catch and shoot, step backs both ways, quick trigger. Like, I see him go through this routine over and over and over and over, even when he's not in the rotation last year and even when he wasn't playing early. He's not missing those days. And I think when you know that you put the time in and you can feel those reps, you're gonna be confident because of it, regardless of what the result is in the game. And I think that's what makes a great shooter, and that's why he's a great shooter.
Dame, just have you seen opposing defenses, guards, try to maybe attack you defensively in these just the start of the season, and kind of how have you tried to adjust to that?
I just think they know that I'm gonna have the ball in my hands. They know that I'm gonna be a big part of what we're doing. So I think them trying to just wear me down, try to put me in actions, pick me up full court, be physical, all of those things. But I think as far as putting me in the actions, most of the time I'm off the ball most of the time, aside from maybe like 2 or 3 games. I'm off the ball. So they trying to, sometimes put me in pick and roll action. Sometimes they try to call me up to get a matchup. But for me, I mean, it's not a new experience for me. I think even last year, I ended up in a lot of actions at the end of games, and if you go back and look at it, sometimes teams even went away from it. It wasn't something that people was just living on. And, that's something that me and Doc, we've talked about. They know that when it comes down to it, I'm going to go right up there and switch, and take that challenge. And, I think the tape shows that they're not about to just put me up there and take us out like that. So nothing really, teams are going to do that anytime a point guard is starting off the ball. Teams do it to other guards that don't start off guarding the ball because I think they might feel like, they're trying to hide them or whatever. But I think the best way to deal with that is to jump up out there and kind of announce it. Like, even if you do score on me, even if you do make a couple shots, I'm not running from the action, These dudes out here scoring 20, 25 a game, that means that's an average. That means that they're doing it to everybody. So you're going to get shots made on you. Guys are going to score, but I think it's mostly about being willing to go up there and take the challenge and not, trying to hide from it.
There were a handful of times when you got big switched onto on the perimeter, largely on the left side, and you were able to kind of drive past them and navigate these tight windows where for the common person they'd think, oh, well, he should be getting blocked there. Yeah. How do you navigate those and find ways to score in those tight windows?
I just think it's training, I think back to this summer being in the gym and, my trainer telling me, you got to run through your finish. You got to get your eyes up early. You got to take stronger steps. You got to get off the ground. You got to change your pace. Bigs are always trying to time your steps and time it and meet you at the glass. And I worked really hard on it, just a lot of mid-range stuff, a lot of finishing. And sometimes the stuff that I did in the summer was like awkward for me. It was different. And as time went on, I started to just get comfortable with it. So a lot of times, when somebody's watching it, it might look like a small window, but to me, it doesn't. It only looks like that when I watch it, but when I'm doing it, it's like I understand it's a tight space, but it doesn't feel as tight as it might look because I've been practicing a lot of those finishes.
Dame, you're back in the top 10 in scoring, coming off a 3-game stretch, shooting very efficiently. Scoring at a great volume. Just curious how you're feeling this year about your performance where you're at right now.
I think I'm off to a very good start. I think minus the game in Memphis, I think I've had a very strong start to the season. And I've just been aggressive. I think that's the number one thing. When I'm talking to Giannis and when I'm talking to Doc, they just like, be aggressive, attack, make plays. You got to go and do what you do. And I said it before the season. I really prepared for this season. With my training on court, with my diet, with my speed and agility coach, with my PT, getting my body healthy and strong, getting rest, and not traveling a lot during the summer and vacationing much. Getting my mind right, just a lot of the being around my family, being, just I gained a lot of perspective about where I am and what I want to accomplish and how I'm going to make that a reality. And I think all of those things put together just put me in a good place mentally and physically to come out and be able to do what I got to do. And I think that's what I've come out and done, and even though we haven't had the team success that we want early, I think those same things prepared me for what's happening right now, even though it's not off to the start, I know that I'll be able to stay in the fight until it's done, regardless of, how we've started. So I think it's been a strong start, and it's going to stay that way.